Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts. Quick thoughts on how to upgrade your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners. I'm joined by our Human Resources Chief Officer person, Emily Deal. Lies, not really her title. Also, just disclaimer on this episode. This is our first post-lunch episode. The energy is going to be a little weird when it does exist. We have some wonderful coffee from Coffee and Crisp to get us going. And so, Emily, what are we going to clumsily discuss today?
We have the energy. We got it.
Sure, we got this.
So I think, I know.
You
today,
know. Okay,
we are talking about authentic leadership.
Let's talk about authentic leadership. How can we do that?
How to be an authentic leader? How do you achieve that? Showing up and your words and your actions kind of align, and you can be in that way.
And I think that's the framework we give people, right? Is if you want to be an authentic leader, and trust me, you do, because your people, like, they know when you're not.
Right.
They know when you're being fake, and it really what you're doing is lying to them.
The trust is just not there.
It's not there. And so the framework we give people is really making sure there's alignment between words and actions. Mm-hmm. If a boss says, "Oh, we want to be this," and everybody's going, "Yeah, but we're this," like, that's not always helpful, right?
Yeah, well, they don't see the dots connecting.
Yeah, they don't see the connection there. And if we want to treat people a certain way, but then our actions don't line up with those words. Like, the words sound great, make us sound publicly, oh yeah, it's a good company. But then internally, if the people are like, yeah, we're nothing like that.
Right.
That creates real problems because there's not an authenticity there. Because I think what we have to understand, I always describe leadership as parenting. Uh-huh. Okay, we are parenting our teams. Kids know when mom and dad are fighting. Kids know when parents are not authentic and are not telling them the full story, right? Yeah. They feel it. And so we have to view it the same way. Like, our kids are going to know. Our teams are going to know. If we're struggling, they're going to know.
Yeah, and that level of truth and vulnerability that keeps that authentic space is really helpful and important.
It does. That's a good word for it. It creates space for that. And so there has to be this alignment. And so we have to always assess as leaders, I'm saying one thing, am I doing something different?
Yeah.
Because I struggle with that a lot with organizations where I'll be working kind of at the mid to higher level, and they're like, yeah, the executive team says we're this. We want to be a certain way. We want to treat each other a certain way. Mm-hmm. And yet we don't. Like, it doesn't happen day to day practically. And there has to be that alignment between the words and the action in order to create that authentic leadership.
Yeah.
Because people will follow. Like, you said the word trust, right? People need to trust their leaders, don't they?
Yeah. And just see what they hear and know that that's, the same, that it's all happening. And not just for the people that you're helping, but, I mean, it's the same for us, right? Yeah. We're helping leaders every day, but we're also using our own advice and helping each other work together and do that.
You know, what's funny is I think it's funny you bring that up. I think there is an authenticity when I go in to teach, because all the things we teach is the stuff I use.
We're using it.
That's what I always tell people. Like, I can't be burned out and teach people how to defeat burnout. And so I have to use tools to keep me from burning out, because I have the same tendencies of every other leader. And these tools, the rest, how can we make sure we're showing up and communicating well, the circle of support, all the things that we teach people to do, like, we do that. And that's why we're able to continue to show up consistently. And there has to be that kind of that authenticity there. And I think that that existing is why we connect, I think. I hadn't thought of that. That's an interesting point. There really does have to be that. Yeah,
I think it's important that we are using these tools and know that they work.
Yeah.
And know that if they work, if you use them, your shorts,
they do.
Leadership shorts only work if you put them on. See?
Okay, if y'all have not listened to previous episodes, at one point, Emily jokingly tried to throw out a tagline.
I like to throw out good marketing ideas at all times.
And it's a golden idea, don't get me wrong. But the tagline was what now? Let's say it again.
Leadership shorts only work if you put them on.
Leadership shorts only work if you put them on, which is...
It's gold.
Very true. It's both gold and true.
And terrible.
Because what I'm always telling leaders is that, like, all the tools we're giving you, those go in the toolbox. If you don't ever open the toolbox and use them, it's not going to do any good.
Yeah.
And so I think that's very true. So I think we're going to end this one right there.
I think it's a beautiful place to end that.
On leadership shorts only work if you put them on. I think as leaders, just kind of the takeaway is really audit your words and your actions. Yeah. Are those aligned? If you say we want to do things a certain way, are we actually doing that?
Yeah, show up authentically.
Yeah, show up authentically and see if you don't see some areas you need to improve there. I think that's always a good assessment for leaders to kind of do on themselves and really to ask others, hey, am I authentic? Am I saying things and then doing those things? Mm-hmm. Does that line up? That's really helpful. Yeah. All right. If people want to send us questions, where do they send them?
Or ideas for taglines.
Or ideas for taglines. Or ideas for new titles for Emily. She's got 17 sets of business cards at this point. New title every episode.
And I am not HR.
She's not HR.
Call back.
So where can people send all of the above?
To lab@forwardpartners.net.
Lab@forwardpartners.net. I'm actually so glad you do that part because literally in my head, I think it's the quesadillas we just had. I was like lab@leadershipshorts. Oh wait, that's not it.
That's incorrect. Don't send anything there.
@forwardpartners.net. Danny, you can just mute my mic. Lab@forwardpartners.net. If people want to follow us on socials, I don't know why they would after this episode, but if they do. They absolutely do. Where would they find us?
@forwardpartner.
@forwardpartner, singular, no S there. Thank you for this. Danny, thank you for being Danny. Thank you, Wilco Workspaces, for partnering with us. Thank you, Coffee and Crisp, for the coffee. We will see you on the next episode of the Leader Lab with Leadership Shorts.